Gonna see the whole directory here. So different businesses will be able to operate from the different like themed rooms, right?
Okay.
So there's no business buildings, right? So what the fuck are people gonna do? Well, no problem, right? We got this 201. I don't know what the fuck this is. Is it, you know, I don't actually know what each room is. What is that? Oh, that's the 201. What is that? 201 music.
Music. All right.
Yeah.
Books.
Books over here.
Apathy.
Apothecary.
Oh, apothecary.
Apathy.
No, apothecary. It's like
Apothecary.
herbal remedies and shit, I think.
I'm good on that. I'm good.
Yeah. And then
okay,
in here is gonna be well, you don't see everything just yet because all the furniture is not down. But this is where it's gonna be dispensaries. No, the dispensaries. We can do one of those. And then what do you call like oxy and prescription medicine right over here.
interesting.
Let me just double check something, make sure something's not busted. Okay, yeah. This thing's not down yet. And then up here.
Garage, restaurant, material, and Terra.
Got the shitter in there. So we're still waiting for furniture to get delivered. Mechanic over here. You know, car parts and shit like that.
You got lift in here. How you gonna get cars up here?
Car parts.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, so this actually does lift out. So
Okay.
yeah, so there is a way to kind of get it in here, but
Oh, great. Okay.
this isn't like I don't really imagine too many cars making its way through. And then over here, I think this is like a bar or some shit. I don't know. Most of this stuff is still getting sorted. But and then there's the executive suite, which is going to be over here.
Executive suite. Oh, okay.
Yep.
doors
Mopec
right
materials
there.
are going to be locked up behind there. Little section. Got the meeting room. You won't see the table here just yet.
That is a hell of a view. You know that?
It is, right? Isn't it?
Look at that beautiful city.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Burn it to the fucking ground. In fact,
Hypothetically, he wouldn't actually say that.
well, I mean, it is actively. It's last fucking 4 weeks have been a goddamn nightmare. You know what I mean?
A nightmare of improvement is what he's trying to say, Turner. Improvement.
I will chuck you out this window. I mean exactly what I mean. Everything's fucking burning to the ground. Fucking violence left, right, and center. The only thing people seem to do is go and get food and then go shoot each other. So.
Yeah.
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 So.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Take it away
Well,
from the window. Yeah.
you know, on the bright side here, this facility is far away from the rest. So.
You don't
Right.
have the echoes of gunshots out here, do you?
We do actually. There's like a popular boost spot right down the street.
Oh,
But,
all right,
you know,
well.
it's normally 3 gunshots every like hour.
Okay, well, it's not too bad from the generic automatic
Mhm.
rifles you hear and
Yep.
as ambiance in downtown Los
Where
Santos.
do you live growing?
Oh yeah, there's another war. There's another war.
That's just us sitting at MRPD.
Oh, okay.
We said, I mean, there's gunshots being reported right now as we speak. And we're currently processing people from a shooting with law enforcement. So it's just,
Jesus fucking Christ.
you know what we got to do? We really got to find out where these guns are coming from. We need to go to the head of the snake and cut it off.
Yeah. Where's it coming from?
Yeah. Yep. Well, I could probably help you with that actually. But that we will discuss afterwards. All right.
All right.
Right this way. Right. And then this. Like I said, most of this stuff isn't furnished yet. But there we go. Locks open. Yeah, this should be
Is
done.
your office here?
It's kind of shared. I don't really I spend most of my time in the downstairs. Right this way, gentlemen.
Jason was claiming
All right.
this area.
Oh, no, there's no claiming it. This is a joint effort.
Well, I'm not going to be the one to tell her.
Has she fucking tried to claim this place?
I'm not gonna be the.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna give her a piece of my mind. Jesus fucking
Darn,
Christ. Did you say hurt her? No, I'm gonna tell her.
Oh yeah, of course.
The fuck? All right. Right this way.
Hey, did Tilly die?
No. What do you mean? She was here last week.
She was here she was at a court case. Yeah.
Look, Peters, do you
Yeah,
think I
I'll do the same.
execute people that cross my path?
I don't. I know. Just haven't seen her for a while.
Yeah. No.
You all right?
Yeah, just seeing things, sir.
All right.
Yeah. Right. Right this way. Yeah, she comes around every once in a while, but like, you know,
Wait, I had keys. What the fuck am I doing?
right this way.
We don't have keys to this, right?
Yeah, I mean, like,
Our keys
you
don't
have,
fit, right?
well, I mean, like, you know, just like, you have raid keys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
While we're here,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
put
asking.
me on the panel. It's right there.
Besides raid keys, we do not.
Caribbean together.
Not at the
yeah.
moment, but I could definitely see that changing. In fact, that would probably be a part of a broader conversation. In fact, as we've been, I know I mentioned this to you, but we've been, Opal has helped lead 2 convoys so far, with about $5 million, maybe $4 to $5 million in car parts. Our next one, which we were going to do today, but I just don't have the energy for it, is going to be $10 million.
Okay.
And so this is our sorting room. We're actually trying to piece it together so it kind of looks a little
wow.
scuffed.
Okay.
But then right over here. Oh, and the
Massive
reason
storage.
I bring that up is in the long term, I'd want the PD and others to be involved with said convoy. But and at that stage, maybe select offices have keys. I'm just going to say it plainly, like I don't trust every member of PD to have it because things would go missing, right?
That's fair.
So right over here where we actually redid this entire area. So you have all stage 5s over here. Stage 4s over here. We got miscellaneous things over there. Tires over there. And we're in the process of plopping more of these down as the Court Center 2.0 is actually going to be a drop ship service. So,
What exactly is a dropship service?
do you remember back in the day when Amazon used to be the one that used to own everything that they sold?
Yes.
And nowadays, when you go to Amazon and try to buy something, you're actually not buying directly through Amazon. They're just fulfilling the order. So the idea is that civilian businesses will be able to have their own storefront on the Court Center, kind of like DoorDash. So when they go and search for something, you'll be able to see, for example, let's say you want stage 5 parts. You're not only going to be able to see, oh, okay.
Wait, does that mean this next one's gonna be like over 10 million?
Yeah, it's 10 million.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where the fuck did the chief go?
Helios is around. Nice.
The chief? Where's the chief at?
He went over there in the corner.
Okay, good. I gotta do something really quick.
Yep. I think he's thinking about something. Oh, what are you doing? You lining one up? Don't fucking chop that shit up.
You gotta give me more of the shit, Nino.
Hey, what? Yotes? I already got one.
Oh, good.
Yeah. You know what? By the way, what the fuck is going on with Maxwell? I am fucking pissed at her. I don't pissed.
I think Maxwell goes through. I think Maxwell just needs some kind of drama in her life, and if there's not drama, she's got to find somebody else to make drama.
You know what happened? You see this?
What happened?
I've been doing this for you guys. All right. Every pot. No, I want you to come over here. Come over here. You know how many sets I've got in here right now?
No.
8. Stage 5 sets.
How much did that cost you? I heard fucking parts.
$10 million.
Yeah, I heard parts are a bitch to come by now.
These, to get a singular set, we get 3 sets in $5 million worth of boxes.
I don't even include the tires, though.
I've been doing Excel sheets for fucking 12 hours for the past
I got a
5
question. Are you
days.
buying the motor boxes at all?
That's coming soon.
Okay, so that's what you got to work on next.
Yeah, yeah. I want to explain something to you, all right? I want to explain something to you. I bought a yacht for a security vehicle in case someone goes through. All right? And you know what happens next? You know what happens? Apparently, it was the same guy that was going to buy it from Maxwell. Maxwell going to buy it from, but she didn't buy it for a fucking couple days. And now she starts blaming me that I stole her fucking yacht. You people are fucking addicted. And when I say you people, I mean you with these fucking little badges and shit.
I don't. We're not addicted. We just need them to keep up with everyone. Our vehicles were good for 3 days, and they fucking the mechanics came in and fucked them to the ground again.
And what do you think I'm doing? See this?
I don't know. Why did the mechanics fuck us to the ground again?
Am I a mechanic? Wait, what do you mean? Fuck you to the ground again.
Oh man, the premieres and the CVPIs are rolling like crazy.
Oh. I did that because she pissed me off.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't fucking doubt it.
I want you to, you know how much I do for you guys?
What? No, I don't. What do you do? You know, hey, did you hear about the Saints, by the way?
Do not. Are you trying to skip right now? You bitch.
No.
That's
no,
like a fucking skip.
No, it's not a skip. It's ADHD. But did you hear about the Saints?
Yeah, they disbanded.
We've officially outlasted all of our enemies.
Holy fuck. Now we have to go after each other.
I don't know who's left. Who's left? Yeah, we do have to go after each other.
Because of everything that happened, we are officially cutting off the police department from all subsidies. You're going to have to purchase and buy things just like everybody else.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean, aren't you? Wait till Turner hears this one. Wait till fucking Turner hears this one.
And then what?
I don't know. Listen, I'm a good bitch. I just do what Turner tells me to do. Hey, Peters. I turn into car guy. I don't even like cars, but somehow I'm car guy Peters now.
Yeah, are you?
Yeah, I am. Hey, Peters, get all these parts. Do this, do that.
Oh my god.
Oh, fuck.
What's been, so you guys just boxes, huh? Boxes and Excel sheets.
Oh my god. Then your fucking dog shit legislation that reads like ass. Oh wait, Dakota wrote it. Fucking VATF one we're about to talk about.
I don't know.
Michael was crashing out about it.
Zero about that. I just know.
I know what you've been doing, by the way.
What do you mean?
You've been getting pissed off. You've been waking up on random cousins pissing off the PD. Hey, good shit. Good shit.
Sorry,
that's not even true.
What's up?
They're inherently pissed off.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. What's up?
You said call me.
Oh, sorry. Hey, you're doing good. Keep at it.
Back.
Oh, feel free to come down to the Kortz Center, by the way.
Yeah, I'll head there right now.
All right, easy. Can you see if Helios can make his way down?
I tried calling him. I don't know if he's around.
No worries. No worries. All right, chat with you soon. Bye. I think Turner's just working on something right now.
I'm gonna need that back. I'm gonna need that back, by the way.
Wait, what did you give me? Wait, what the fuck is this? Wait, what is this?
You haven't seen that?
No, what is it?
I can't tell you politics. I'm gonna need that back. An active investigation. I don't know if I can
Oh.
release. I don't know if I can release the details to you or not.
Okay. Give me a sec here.
What are you doing? What are you doing with that coffee cup?
Documenting me giving you this bag.
That's all I needed. Now I got your fingerprints on it, Nino. So let's see who wants to fuck with who.
You guys are stupid.
Already got photographs, bitch.
Of you giving it to me,
And in my pocket. And handing it over.
right? Which means you gave it to me. You know, there's no proof that I ever had this before you gave it to me.
My dog.
Hey, how you doing, forehead?
Not too bad. You know, I'm just doing just fine.
Hey, I got some work for you, if you're interested.
Yeah, what type of work we talking about?
Let's set up a meeting for tomorrow.
What time you want to meet?
I can't say. I'm standing in front of the ass fuck chief, Mr. Tyler Peters.
Hmm.
Yeah. Trying to plant evidence on me.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. I'm letting you know at 6:29 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And,
When the hell is that, dog? How many hours from now?
oh, it won't matter because my phone's going to get subpoenaed.
Wait, what?
I have no idea. This is one of those things. He's calling someone right now. Who are you calling? Who the fuck are you calling, Peters?
Hey, future, it's me, Peters. How much to do a hit on this?
Do not fucking call. Do not fucking call Future.
Okay. Oh, fuck that. Ash Chief's walking up right now. I gotta go.
All right. He just planted
What?
evidence on me.
I'm sorry. What's going
I have
on?
no idea what Nino's talking about here.
DK's awake. I'm gonna call.
I don't know, Nino's paranoid. I think it's the effects of the medication he's been taking.
Medication? What medication? What are you talking about? What's going on?
I think. Are we good? Are we good, Nino?
Yeah, we're good. I'd like to document Mr. Chief of Police at 6:29 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5:29 at 2025. I may have been given evidence to only give it back to Mr. Assistant Chief. Yeah, I don't know if it's evidence or not evidence, but in the event it does come up, that was handed to me. You'll find both of our fingerprints on it.
What were you handed?
I got no idea. It looks like porno. I think he puts his dick in some face.
What'd
Oh,
you
no.
hand him, Peter?
I didn't give him any evidence. It was a greeting card I had. I just wanted to show it to
Okay.
him.
Well, it looked very, listen, I don't know
All
what
right,
it
well,
looks
I'll
like.
get my fingers on it then.
All right.
And take a look at it.
Anyways, Nino, can you call DK for a sec?
Yeah,
I'm
afterwards.
gonna
Yep.
need that
Okay.
back, so I gotta
Afterwards.
document it for evidence.
All right.
Cute.
Yeah. All right. All right.
It's not a good look. No.
All right. You good to talk about this?
Which part?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we're going to talk VATF legislation, I think.
Yeah, VATF
Yeah.
legislation.
Wait, what did he hand you? Just out of curiosity.
What did he hand you?
I
Peters, did you hand us both the same thing?
I did, sir.
Okay. Had skulls on it.
yes.
Okay. Staff legislation.
All right. Gentlemen, can you give me, the chief, and the ass chief a little bit of space, please?
Sure.
All right,
Helios
thank you
is
very
on
much.
his way.
All right, very
I can
good.
dip
Very
out
good.
too.
Okay.
I don't know, man.
What the fuck was that? Why does this always need to fucking happen? These fucking cars. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna fucking de-legislate all vehicles.
Ooh,
What is that accomplishing?
bicycles would be great.
You're saying make vehicles illegal?
That's what I'm thinking.
That'd be like making running illegal.
Why?
For, by the way.
What do you mean? It's good for cardiovascular health.
Yeah. We'll get it sorted. Right.
All
This
right.
is more so on the mayor's office than myself, but is this driving you nuts? Is that what's going on?
Which bit?
The cars.
Oh my
Or-
fucking god! Look, I'm gonna be honest, right? I think it's been a series of things, and I'm gonna try to be as transparent as I can. I think there is a series of things that are coming to my desk that are underlinedly showing that there is a serious lack of. We have an articulation problem throughout the police department, and that's
I
both.
agree. I couldn't agree more.
Now, this is something that, like, honestly is whatever, right? It'd be a passing by thing. But it's like twice a day, I'm getting some kind of phone call, one or another, that just sounds like, Nino,
calling?
Nino, please fix this. And just I think it's like the entitlement of expecting myself and other members of my cabinet who work a lot of hours, right? And have tried to provide a lot of benefits to the LSPD over the last, 9 months. And obviously, BCSO is easy to say, fuck them, right? But when the things start sort of like adding up, it goes from being a little funny to rather beyond annoying, right? Now, unfortunately, I think what kind of riles this problem up a little bit further is I'm going to tell you the series of events today, and maybe this will kind of give you some perspective. We had that tow conversation, right, the other day, and I was a bit agitated and underlined, and we talked about it, right? I was sort of agitated in the sense that for a lot of those cases, the tools are available. Whether or not it lands in a victory in court is sort of beyond the point, given the fact that court is a vehicle by which case law is generated, law is clarified, because the law inherently is not clarified until it is exercised through the courtroom.
Right.
And so, in the midst of what has been my office, probably spending more hours in the last 2 weeks than we have in the past. Relatively speaking, doing over hours, we're, cutting through, seeing all the legislative shit coming through. That was a big process, right? And whatnot. The energy really felt like, give this to us now or there's an issue, or you don't understand, or you don't care, right? Which is when the reality is we got too much on our plate, right? So we got to prioritize, I hear it out. It is what it is, right? Secondly, and beyond this, is we've made it significantly easier to pass bills. Whatever, right? This morning, I learned that Quentin over there was apparently kidnapped by the toll guys, and PD didn't do anything. Now, I that kind of pissed me off a bit. And then this whole thing over a yacht, which was fucking doing my head in. Now, this might seem like some small shit, but, you know.
He was kidnapped?
Yeah. You should talk to Quentin about it. Apparently, so he works over at Blaine County, right?
I can't politics. I don't meddle in tow business.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, you're going to have to break this one, right? So
well, it is our problem when we didn't do anything about it, supposedly.
Yeah, he was kidnapped, and they just kind of left him there. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Oh, yeah. Yesterday, we dealt with a terrorist situation, right? Handled fantastic by Opal, mind you. But half the fucking police department literally fucked off, which was insane. Now, Opal and a selection of those officers did an amazing job. But I, with my own eyes, witnessed while you guys had like 10, 12 officers on duty, half of them literally disappear in the midst of somebody that was planning on kidnapping me in order to extort money from the government, right? And they instead took Junior, the guy that has processed over 100 applications. This guy's day is literally paperwork with businesses, and he does so willfully, right? He does a lot of it. He was kidnapped. After he was taken go, they brought him to the hospital, and they just left him. And I'm like, hello? Opal's about to go to court with these guys, right? And imagine if, mind you, and you can ask her, you can, you know, if I'm incorrect about this, but she previously was not able to put things on the docket because she's still waiting for statements, right? And so Junior gets dropped off. Doesn't even get a statement taken. And he was taken at knife point along with Hassan Bakari, brought into an airplane, and they were going to kill him unless the government gave $5 million. Somehow they save his ass. During that whole thing, half the PD disappears, right? So I guess where I'm coming with this, Turner, is, you know, there's a lot of, there just seems to be just an extreme amount of just entitlement and just absolute laziness, and I don't know what to fucking do. I was just in the legislative audit meeting, and apparently the justices are also getting phone calls, you know, with very similar energy. And so, I don't know.
Similar energy, such as... Is there context to any of them? Just
yes. Let me remember which what the charges were about. Oh, it was over the toe shit. Yeah. Like, oh, we can't do anything about this. We can't do anything about this. And, you know, this morning, myself and Michael spent about 10, 15 minutes. Okay, so EMS wrote us a bill, right, for toll legislation. So we looked over it. We're now trying to digest, okay, what is the issue here? And with 15 minutes, we realized that there are definitely already charges that can be applied. And I think after having gone through that process, I came to the utter conclusion that I don't think anyone's really trying, right? I think that they're looking at situations like this. I think that they're looking at situations like, you know, you guys owe us this and that, and looking at it like we're like a fucking customer service for Walmart. You know what I mean? That if there isn't a red button or a green button that they can press, it's not worth their effort. You know what I mean?
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Helios? Can you give us a second? So, yeah.
You know, I'm not sure where this is all coming from. You know, I understand the tow aspect of it.
Yeah.
The issues we talked about towing. I mean, I'm just gonna be frank. I told Maxwell that if she is truly wants something changed and write legislation, then we go from there.
Okay, good. I'm just sort of expressing some of the frustration. Today was very back to back to back. And I know, look, I'm not putting this on you to be very clear, but you know,
well, I mean, there's issues that we can absolutely address, such as the kidnapping aspect.
Right.
I mean, obviously, we can't address something. I don't know every single incident that transpires.
Are
Try to
you
keep
talking
up
about
to
the
date with them.
yeah,
Quentin thing where he's kidnapped?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I could tell you what happened.
Oh.
Um,
Okay.
Cassidy, it was Cassidy. That's what happened.
Oh my fucking god.
There's a single statement in here, only from Quentin. From here, it doesn't say that he was kidnapped at all. It says Quentin seen the tow truck drivers earlier in the day. He got into a discussion with the suspects at the apartments. And they beat him with a wrench. The tow guys came to the courthouse and they were speaking with Vince Payne and Quentin. They told them if they didn't give him a weapons license, he would beat him with a wrench again. They then began chasing Quentin and Vince as they fled, but they did not have weapons in their hands. So it doesn't sound like Quentin was kidnapped by any means.
I have Quentin's statement even in here stating that. So
Yeah, so I mean it's
that's
Quentin's
solid,
Quentin,
actually.
but there's no statements from anyone else. But I mean it looks like it's a Cassidy thing.
Right. Okay. Oh, we can look into it a little bit more there, make sure there's not something missing or statements missing, and we get you the full
Yeah.
picture.
I would also ask Opal about yesterday's incident. About
I'll
half the
plan on
police
it.
department sort of dipping.
Now, I
It's
know-
unfortunate too watching that because she put a lot of fucking work into it. I don't even think she
I
was
know-
supposed to be around
Mhm.
yesterday.
So that was a
So-
situation with his name is escaping me right now.
Yuri. Yeah.
Oh, the other one in your cabinet,
Oh, Junior.
Junior. Okay.
Yeah.
He's involved in that, right?
He was the one that was kidnapped.
Right.
Yeah.
It was already brought to me that there's a situation involving him and that's being addressed. I don't have details, but I will. I'll dive into it now, though.
Just put his statement in, by the way.
Let's go further over there so we're not talking
good.
too loud. All right.
I don't think anything's being brushed under the rug, to say the very least. Not saying it's.
I wouldn't
handled
say
yet, but-
anything.
I'm sorry.
You said I don't think anything's being brushed on the rug. I don't think you're brushing it under the rug. I think that the police department has many individuals that do not know how to function beyond a bank truck. I don't think they know how to articulate things. I don't think that they're using their brain cells. I don't think they know what they're doing when they're not
I think
given a
there's
recipe.
a combination.
Yeah.
I think there's a combination of a, and this is something I've talked to Peters about. Is a lot of people are the product of their environment. We have officers who are better than others at articulation at court. We have others who are better at tactically leading scenes. As you know, we're up to our neck in violent calls. So there's a time and a place for everyone to do their work, but understanding basics of articulation, being able to articulate and knowing the basics of policing is extremely important. I think some of that might be getting left at the wayside that we can readdress.
It might, and I do recognize that there's a few that seem to be carrying the burden, right?
Yeah.
And I want to stress here that from my position, right, when I look at Quentin was held up, the Prady brought him someone there and said, we can't press any charges because it's he said, she said. And I'm now hearing that there's a one-line report. It jives with what Quantum told me, right? It lines up. That they didn't give a fuck. Despite the fact that this guy is literally running the biggest civilian business in the city. He provides 80% of material to everybody. It repairs your cars, whatever. The meaning of who Quantum is, and the guy is he's a government employee, right? And to me, when, from what I witnessed yesterday to what happened to him today, like, I look at it like that. I don't think a lot of forget the articulation, forget do they know how to, lead a scene or whatever. I think that the quality of some of these officers is so fucking low that they don't actually know what they're looking at. Am I conveying that right? Like that, hey,
To an extent,
there wasn't a fucking dispatch call attached to Quantum's ass, so whatever, right? Like almost as if it's like a burden. They got to deal with the situation. And that's what yesterday evening was, right? Those officers that fucked off, they wanted to hit the big old skip button. And I'm just going to shoot straight.
Any of it to Nino, to Opal?
Oh, I was with her. Yeah.
But she recognized it as well.
I asked her a couple times. She kind of had that I'm used to it energy. You know what I mean? So, and here's the thing, right? I could brush this under the rug and just be like, you know what, this is fine, right? But that would be wrong of me, right? So I'm sort of bringing it up now, especially since I need to explain my negative attitude right now. And hopefully you don't see this directed at either of you two, right? Or the department as a whole, but rather some of the symptoms that are bubbling up and pricking me in my ass and a bunch of others, right?
Well, we see much of it. We don't see everything. So if it's brought up to us, we can at least formulate a plan to address it and attack it. So we'll look into them. We'll see what we can do about this.
Okay.
We'll address it.
Where are the statements from the other people is what I want to see. And why is it only Quentin's statement here? And how come Ryan Kane doesn't have a statement?
I think where people, in other agencies at times, if you arrive on a scene of a situation, and there's statements being made and people are swearing by them, arrests are made based off those statements. Whereas here we are also the prosecutors and we decide whether we push them, and then we have to articulate them in court. And ultimately it comes down to them, pleading their claims in court, right? Both sides.
Right.
And that's how a charge is pressed, right? Because nothing is witnessed by law enforcement. I think there's a few factors at play here.
Right. We need to value things beyond bank trucks and
I don't disagree.
And bank robberies. That's what I think fundamentally that is what I'm pointing at. Like rather than the specifics of what happened with Yuri yesterday and what happened to Quantum this morning. And
it's
and you know what my fear is?
I understand what you're saying.
If let's say, and I'm not going to do this, but let's say hypothetically I said, and this is something that Peters might remember, I said, fuck these bank trucks. Fuck these robberies. Take the hostage, that's a lower priority. I want to see more people do what Jeb's doing. Because that's a real cop right there. That's a real fucking cop. Because he recognizes that a 911 and an individual that is being targeted for some reason has a significant higher value than someone that took insured money. Right? And my concern is that some of these bozos, they hop up in their fucking pursuit vehicle. They're jerking off their fucking turbo or whatever the fuck, shit that they were convincing the DOJ to help fund. And I get it. It's the chase, right? And I get that. The thrill, right? There's a place for it. But sometimes but it cannot, there's a balance, right?
Just get rid of pings for a week.
I mean,
yeah.
Let me put it to you this way. I came up with that unit, right?
Good shit.
I'm the one who put that unit in place. He's absolutely executing it, but I understand. I see that. I know that. The thing is, it's either, we can only put so many people towards that, because if we send 2 cops to a bank truck and they get shot at,
don't go to the bank truck.
Well, I mean,
why not?
What happens when it happens in Legion Square?
Okay, well then
civilians around.
That's different, right? Every situation's different. And I'm not saying don't go to bank trucks anymore, right? But there's middle grounds to everything, right? It doesn't have to be no bank trucks, but it shouldn't also be all the bank trucks, right? If clearly the balance is off, if government literal terrorism is taking place, and people are like, nah, not interested. That's not what I signed up for. Like, there's a fucking issue. Let me show you some of this. Oh fuck, I had to go to sleep. Pull out your tablets real quick. I'm gonna pull out my my external one. And I want to revisit this tow shit because I reviewed it this morning, and this is where, like, myself and my staff, like, collectively just started to have an aneurysm. Let's bring up the crimes against persons. Give me a second as I'm loading it up. Okay. If Mr. Camel Toe decides to currently, without any changes to legislation, tow an ambulance with 2 people in the back, which, by the way, happened. I learned that earlier this morning. And by the way, apparently no one was arrested for that. Mr. Camel Toe has 0 charges.
That took place almost a week ago. I spoke to you
It was a
about
week
that.
ago?
I told them to push reckless endangerment.
Oh, you did? Did that happen? Do you know?
No, it did not.
Okay. I bet, you know, when I heard it this morning, when you told me, was it in the meeting room?
I
think it
recall
was
if
Friday
meeting
or
room.
Saturday. I think it was Friday or Saturday you mentioned it.
It might have been.
Yeah. So I think
It
I'd
was
like
Friday, yeah.
vaguely. Now, keep in mind, when you had told me this, I was hearing one thing from you, one thing from someone else, one thing. So for me, it was like just ADHD inducing because it was like 3 different issues simultaneously, but all stemming from one individual type shit. You know what I mean? So, but let's say, yes, 100%. Reckless endangerment, you are 1,000 correct with that, Turner. Is that the moment that ambo was taken with people in the back, it's reckless endangerment. Now, let's say the individual is facing life-threatening, like, if it's a broken arm, reckless endangerment, right? If they're bleeding out, it's attempted murder or attempted manslaughter.
So you're telling me that someone that prevents someone from getting medical treatment and ends up dying would be murder?
Correct. Wait, why wouldn't it be? Yeah.
Look at the case of the BCSO deputy.
Well, fuck the
manslaughter.
cases, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm
Yeah.
there with you.
Yeah, because the thing is, y'all have to operate on probable cause for the arrest, and then after the arrest comes the investigation, which then turns into either a plea, a plea deal, or alternatively, a docket posting, and from there can beget, as a consequence of the spirit of the law that's been written and the Constitution that's backing it, either precedent that further substantiates that those sort of cases fit the charge, or alternatively, case law is then produced out of it, right? But you mentioned an example, like what was the case you were referencing?
The deputy gone rogue and attacking people.
Oh, and no, he's talking about the fucking felon that's been buried next to a bunch of
Ellen
individuals
DeFell?
that died in the
No.
The
deputy
Mason
who died.
Dixie. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What
So
happened
look,
with Mason Dixie?
He got charged with manslaughter instead of attempted murder when he
Well, instead of
transported
murder, you
into
mean?
the sewers. Right, instead of murder, manslaughter.
Which
instead
was the
of,
correct charge? Of
You don't
100%.
think murder was it?
No, 100% not. It was self-defense. I know the
Well,
true
hang
story,
on.
mind you.
Well, I'm pretty sure I know the true story as well. Transporting him to the sewers and preventing from getting professional medical treatment could be viewed as murder. He prevented him from getting medical
Yeah.
treatment.
Why wouldn't that be second degree
Well,
murder?
so we're sort of arguing over inches right now, right? Instead of miles or whatever the fuck it's called, whatever that phrase is.
I mean, manslaughter to second degree murder.
We're okay, but we went from broken arm to someone might be dying in the ambulance, right? So now you're getting into
Right.
attempted murder or attempted manslaughter, right? And the thing is, murder requires premeditation, right? So
Second degree, though, right?
or second degree, that is correct. So manslaughter is like oops, right? And second degree is without premeditation. But regardless, you know, those charges are applicable, right? It doesn't actually require anything additional to be added. Now, transparently, we are looking to get 2 new charges put into place. One is going to be called, oh my God. Sorry, I'm blanking. I've been in fucking meetings all day. It's like something about like preventing medical. I forgot what we called the charge. It's impeding medical. So if someone impedes someone from getting medical, that's going to be a charge, and then you can stack up things on top of it with enhancements. And then
That's fair.
if that individual is doing it serially, in other words, like serial impeding of medical, so in like 30 days, you go do something like this 3 times, it becomes a catch and release. So, and then based on the severity of what they have been doing serially, the court then determines what the fine and time is, which I think is beyond reasonable. So, but that is targeting specifically these medical conditions because it would be applicable to situations that are happening in the hospital, situations that are happening to EMS, let's say in the midst of providing medical, or alternatively in a case where they're in the back of a vehicle. That is an area that we, after we analyzed what exists, we believe that there is a hole. However, you know, it wasn't to target that specific incident itself, right?
That's fair.
But
I mean, we have felony obstruction. Or obstruction.
Felony
of sorts,
obstruction
so-
absolutely works. You can also do
for law
accessory
enforcement, at least.
or accomplice, right? Someone's robbing a bank and or you cannot, you know, get to a bank, you know, depending on the means by which, you know, these individuals are grabbing the vehicle, you could press those charges as well. But, you know,
So I guess let me ask.
but this
you,
guy
I
has
wanna-
0 charges right now.
we should be pushing. Like I told you, I told
Yeah.
Maxwell to push him. Frankly, there, reckless endangerment. I think we still should push him. Get statements from that situation
Yeah.
and push them. Frankly,
Because here's the danger too there, Turner, is we can't over legislate, right? Each piece of legislation goes through such a significant amount of scrutiny, especially if it's touching on an area that's already got legislation, right? Or penal charges that are applicable. Because while it may seemingly solve a problem, it creates many more problems in the legal equation. In other words, it can add even further confusion, right? Like,
yeah, I'm not. I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
I mean, charges should be put in place to combat something specific, right?
or like,
Legislation should
yeah.
be put in place to combat something very specific, not just a general cover. It just articulation's important. People
It
need to
is.
learn to articulate. So.
and to me, that's a symptom of it, right? Because we're talking like even these vehicles, right? There's like felony obstruction. There's also you could theft, right? Because those vehicles should not be towed to begin with, right? They're currently in operation. I've been hearing something about like needing lights on. The lights have nothing to do with it. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that.
So let me
like
pretend I'm a cop. Give me a scenario.
Okay, you pull up to a traffic stop and your lights aren't on.
Well, that means you haven't detained somebody.
Exactly. So at that point, at what point are cops allowed to bend the laws to their I don't want to say bend the laws, but it's like, you know, if we perform a traffic stop and we have to stop somebody and the side of the road's red, but we have to put our lights on. Like the thing is police are held accountable to the same laws that the citizens are when they're not acting in a professional duty.
I agree.
So it's like, you know, at what point if an officer parks on the red and their lights aren't on and they're not performing a traffic stop, why shouldn't their car be towed?
Wait, actually?
Yeah, I'm asking you. I'm genuinely asking you because I know in the U.S. And in most cases in the U.S. I don't know how it is in San Andreas, but it's like, you know, just because you're driving a cop car, it doesn't inherently you can't just do whatever you want. You can't just go and break any laws
Yeah,
you want.
that
or-
is
or
true.
do- So
I'm actually with Peters on this one.
I want to. Yeah,
if an officer
keep
does
playing out the
something wrong-
scenario though. Keep playing out the scenario.
so like let's
So
say
give
this.
me the
Like,
scenario.
I ticketed EMS the other day.
He's
EMS
not
went to the
spitting
bank.
though
They were
because
parked in a spot
he's
that
talking
wasn't
about a
parking
tow
spot.
driver moving a
Why,
vehicle.
I understand
Yeah.
they have a duty and they do their job, and we're very grateful for those people. But at the same time, they still have to follow the traffic laws just as everyone else does, unless they
I
are,
agree.
are in a.
You do have
you
to
know,
follow traffic laws. That's right.
So moving that forward to the tow aspect.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't somebody? We won't even do tow. We'll just do.
Well, let me ask you something, Peters. Do you think that PD vehicles should be exempt from being towed?
No, absolutely not. I don't.
Oh,
I think,
okay. Well, then I don't think we have an issue.
what do you mean?
I thought I didn't know you
this is
two
where
were
the
on the
problem
same
happens.
page.
No. So I'm if an officer parks in a red zone, he should be held accountable just like anybody else. Lights are on, shouldn't be touched. Doesn't
Agreed.
matter where it's at, shouldn't be touched.
Okay.
My problem is where things start to get abused, and that's where the articulation comes in. And I'm talking tow truck drivers bumping vehicles into positions, out of parking spots. You get in the car, turn off the lights. When you combat this by setting up stings, when you combat this by witnessing it and pushing charges when we have the ability
Don't get
to do so.
confused. Some of this is distracting from the main argument.
I think we're all actually on a similar page here.
Yeah.
What I'm saying
I
is
think
there's
so too.
predatory towing going on, and that's what I want to prevent.
Can I get clearly like what that is?
I mean that's
Like an exact scenario, right?
exact scenario.
Yeah. Like where, like a
Positioning your vehicle in a
scenario.
way that locals
Well,
would purposely
just real
displace.
quick, just to make
Yep.
sure that, as this is a very, there's so many existing laws that already exist, and what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to investigate. There's, mind you, there was the EMS situation. There is the bumping the locals. There is the cops are taking, the tow guys are taking the cop cars, and there's a lot of different tow problems that were presented to me by different law enforcement offices simultaneously. So everyone seems to be talking about something different. So I need the scenario to kind of make sense of it to myself.
Absolutely.
So
you know how we park tow trucks in front of our tow or in front of PD?
yes.
PD tow parks there.
Mhm.
Because it was touching the sidewalk, he wants to impound it. There's plenty of room for people to walk by. Some will be
Okay.
understandable, right? They are technically on part of the sidewalk, so understandable.
So it should be towed or it should not be towed? And what is it that was desired? Yep.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Why the fuck would you hand that to me?
What? What are you talking about?
The fucking card. The fuck is that?
You don't know? You're not in with them? I thought you were in.
Wait, you think I won the election because of them?
Yep.
Brian Knight's the first one that actually got a report made for it. That's when you know it's fucking
I was
crazy.
literally there. I was
Yeah,
literally the face
yeah.
clan, Larry. Yep.
Yeah. What are we gonna do about this?
Which one?
Well,
This thing I'm
Everything.
conflicted on?
Everything.
This thing I'm
I have to conflict to just move the thing
so
forward.
heavily conflicted on this, you have no idea.
I am so heavily conflicted. You have no idea. I
tow
had to
thing?
go push it forward on my fucking cousin
The
for
tow
like
thing?
anyone to make. Oh, that. Well, it's kind of like this, I'm involved with the faceless, so I had to get on Brian because no one would investigate it, and get Larry's fucking bullshit into a fucking report and make its way to the marshals. So now you got to fix the tow shit, so that when you get on your cousin,
I'm not going to say anything.
we're sabotaging our own cousins.
You know
Effectively,
that there's just. I'm not going to say.
kind of crazy, right?
Why do I feel like 90% of the situations that I'm dealing with are caused by me?
Because they are. Because you haven't been on duty for like 3 months.
I'm on duty like
Today,
I would say
yes.
3 or 4. No, 3 or 4 days a week. I'm on duty.
Okay. How many hours?
It depends. I've been around a bunch. Actually.
Have they brought this up to you? By the way, you're not allowed to say I'm conflicted when you're in a position like we are.
Has what been brought up to me?
Like, could you imagine? I'm like, oh, I can't deal with terrorism. I'm conflicted. You're the fucking ass cheek, motherfucker.
It'd be like Brian Knight going and trying to investigate who's bringing guns into the city.
That's literally what I had to do.
I don't know about that. I don't know. What do you mean? That's literally what you had to do.
How many investigations did you have before Larry put his in?
You're saying with the faceless?
Yeah.
I've never even fucking heard about anything until that happened. Apparently, well, the thing that's crazy
and Brian just happens to be driving down and it's like, hey, police force, that's a attack helicopter. Fuck off. Oh, yeah.
I was in the car with Brian.
Yeah, well. You know, this is where Carmine gets it from. You know that? This, because he's probably, because he's taking a day off and he's watching us. He's watching us right now and he's like, I'm going to do it too. And then he gets fired. You know that, right?
Well, no, that was Tommy
We're a
Tinker.
bad fucking, we are a bad fucking influence.
Know that Tommy Tinker was never getting hired.
What? Sorry, say again?
I said
yeah, no shit.
We are a bad influence.
Oh my God.
Uh-oh. You hear that?
Yeah, it's a boost.
You got a shooting range? Oh, it's the boost.
Yeah, there's like a,
How's everything else going?
They always steal a vehicle down there. Oh, not too much. You know what I mean?
You need turrets outside. That would be, can you imagine?
You know how bad it was yesterday? Yesterday was fucking crazy.
I have no idea. Sundays, I don't touch the city on Sundays. Actually, that's a week ago. Sunday a week ago, I was on duty. I was on duty for like fucking...
We had to convince people to break off of a bank truck to save a member of the cabinet that was taken by a known terrorist that has terroristic charge being pressed. Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, it ended up really good. You're good. So we realized me and Pete is here may be the reason Carmine got fired.
What was that?
Just bad influences. You know what I mean? You know, kids these days, they look up to the older ones and they try to reenact it, but you got the Zoomer version,
Peter, you ever let him a civilian drive an interceptor 180 miles an hour in city limits?
No comment.
Am I considered a civilian?
No, you're a government employee. You're
the
mayor.
No,
I can drive your vehicles.
Well, I think a civilian.
You're not law enforcement.
Okay, where does it say
legislation that says you can't drive them?
Yeah. And there it is, right there. That's a great
legislation that says
it infers it. Yeah. So I think on this point of like, this is actually a great example. Is that I think, and this is across all pillars of government, let's call it, including defense attorneys, have forgotten what spirit of the law means. And I will tell you right now, I'm more of a letter of the law guy, always have been. But that doesn't mean that spirit doesn't matter. And spirit of the law is the intended writing and meaning of what was put into law. And I think that has gone to completely been thrown away. So much so that we're actually defining it in legislation so that everyone can read it and understand what it means. At least it's the first step. And
that's
so
what you're trying to do, correct? You're trying to make it purely letter of the law.
I'm a letter of the law guy. That's what I tend to lean on when I did defense work. However, what I'm saying is that spirit still matters, but not to the extent it used to many 20 years ago. And what that means is, why can I not get into a police vehicle and drive it despite the fact that there's no legislation explicitly stating whether I can or cannot? There might be is there one? Like, is there even a penal charge?
Joyriding.
I own it. I'm the mayor. The state is the owner. I am the state.
What if it's privately owned?
Okay, well then maybe not. Well, what if Peter's let me drive his vehicle? Then what?
Well, then
But-
you'd be dealing with internal punishments.
Such as?
Apps.
I don't think you can dap me. And
Correct.
and
but
I
he gave you permission, so I will go after him.
oh yeah, I meant yes, that is true. But to you go back to that example, right? By the spirit of the law, I cannot get in there, and the reason would be, and this is without opening it up, right? Because I think there's more an argument against me able to doing it unless we like hype a deep dive into it. Is that we have definitions for what law enforcement is, and this is your equipment and whatnot. And I think I think a diligent officer would be able to find a set of charges. Now, understandably, if it wasn't Nino Chavez or like some random person, yeah, you might get some crying. It doesn't say anything like that, blah, blah, blah. But the fact of the matter is, pressing whatever those charges would be the appropriate thing, even if that avenue was unknown, right? Like,
Yeah, I think the problem is, and I'm gonna be brutally blunt here, is we can have two situations back to back with similar articulation and have different results due to opinions of people. And
Yeah,
when
that
things
is
like
true.
that happen, people also get jaded and say, all right, well, fine. If it's not letter of the law, then I'm not going to touch it.
but
you know,
that's such a shitty attitude.
Yeah, but people spend hours on doing these, and then they get thrown out
I
for the
think I
same
know
reason.
that. I feel like I know that better than anybody.
Absolutely, and that's so while I understand what you're saying, because I really do know what you're saying, I understand spirit of the law, letter of the law. I understand why people don't want to press things like that at times. But I also think it's our job, and we need to continue doing our job. And our job is to bring up charges when we see something violated.
I feel like it's would it be fair for me to say that maybe this is a morale issue? I see. I fail to say it's a morale issue because if you want me to be transparent, and feel free to disagree, is that it feels like 80% of the police force, and I'm spitting a random number, right? Because there are the Opals, there are the Aarons, there are the Jebs, there are the, I'm gonna dare I say Carmine Costello, that might be a fucking shitlord, but was fantastic in court. You got there's plenty that I can name, right? But a large number of them are fucking brain dead, right? Outside of pings. Like, holy fuck, some of these people you talk to them, I don't think they know how to wipe their own fucking ass.
Nino, what you're implying is requiring a ground up rebuild.
No. I'm not implying anything right now. Well, I'm, No. Listen, brother, look, there's a reason I picked you, Turner, because I know you can handle whatever fucking shit show is happening right now. But I put my hand on your shoulder saying, listen, we just got to hold strong, all right? There's probably a bomb somewhere, and it's probably going to explode at some point, all right?
If we're lucky.
If we're lucky. And we'll find hopefully find the little fucking bunker to hide in, right? But that doesn't... I think the reason I bring up this topic is not with the intent to be nasty or whatever, but say, what is the situation? Let's try to figure out what that situation is, and hopefully by identifying that root cause, maybe find a holistic way forward, right? I
think a big fix to this is the direction from DOJ. I'm not trying to pawn this off on them because we need to look inside, obviously, on a lot of things. But I think gaining the trust of DOJ again will be big for the departments. As you might put it, as morale. taking things to court, being more confident in things. Consistency from DOJ would allow us also to make teaching points off of cases that fail. I think there's a lot to build off of with a consistent DOJ. I think they're working towards it.
Are they though? Hold on. Let me. Sometimes I make a statement and it comes out like saying one thing when I mean something else. So I got to stop myself. I don't know how you would ever get a consistent DOJ because by function they will never be consistent. Because every single case, no matter if they may seem like they are similar, they're always going to be distinct. They will be distinct because the articulation will never be the same. I sit through more court cases than I go to every court case. I've been a lawyer for a long time. Two situations are almost never articulated similarly. And the defense that is brought up to poke holes in a prosecutor's argument is also going to be different. And a judge is not obligated to not tap into their own opinion because their own opinion forms their view of what the law says, which is how precedence is provided. It's the very same reason the Supreme Court of the United States has many justices, right? Because each one of those justices have a different political alignment. And even those political alignments are not binary. That's why they vote.
Hang on. There has to be still a baseline set. Say a what's the word for it? A requirement of evidence. The basic level of evidence required. To some people that's above and beyond for things like bench trials and things like that.
I see.
Things are getting a little convoluted. So it's a matter of them setting forth their expectations of the PD. So we can say, okay, we've got all these points here. Now what's the problem if there's an issue?
I see.
In terms of articulation, that is on us.
When you said consistency, my mind went to rulings. But you're talking about evidentiary standards. That I agree with. In fact, I think that needs to be legislated. And I don't think the judges are going to legislate that for you.
Well, they're giving us it in writing. Expectations for what is to transpire, the required level of evidence, things like that for all the cases.
And they've agreed to this?
Falconer. I'm sorry?
They've agreed to this?
Yeah, it should be. I was supposed to be delivered to me on Saturday, and it was a half day for me, so I got to check with Falconer, and it should be ready to go right now.
Okay, all right.
So as soon as I get my hands on it, you'll have it as well.
Yeah, no, I haven't. This is the first time I'm hearing of it. Because having heard this, I think that is something that should be legislated. Because evidentiary standards is definitely a legislative thing. Like stating that things to qualify for documentation. Because the thing is, right, if someone gives you a letter from DOJ, they could rip that apart tomorrow, right? So getting that into law would be good because who knows what tomorrow's going to hold, right?
Absolutely.
So
as soon as I get my hands on that and we have a chat, I'll bring it up and
okay,
let you take a look at it. I'll give you a copy of it.
Let me going back to this like DOJ thing. Like, what about the reciprocating notion of this? Like, in other words, like, I know Grayson has been offering up doing like mock trials and stuff like that. Have people gone to those?
He hasn't put one on yet. We scheduled one. I think he had to reschedule it. I believe.
Okay.
But we are in talks to get that done. It needs to get done sooner or later. We should just make them frankly weekly or every other week. Have one going on. Questions, anything like that. I think we are moving in the right direction, and that's I think the best I can ask when it comes to the DOJ. As long as there's some sort of forward movement, right?
Yeah.
And I do think it's moving in a good direction. I think we kind of butt heads in some areres, but
yeah,
we're both understanding each other a bit better.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's naturally going to happen. I mean, to give you some perspective, I mean, they're getting it from the other end of the spectrum too. You know what I mean? especially with the, that Cyprus raid, and then you got the case against Remedy Creed, and this I get phone calls from all types of people. You know what I mean? And so
I'm not.
I don't want to. I want to
take
go
it for
to.
granted. I understand they're getting both ends of it.
Okay. VATF legislation. Have you seen Michael's comments?
Yeah, I already redrafted a new one with all his comments.
Very
in
good.
mind.
I think we need to move forward with this without Nakota.
I feel like we should at least look over it and talk about it, and then
with
have maybe
Nakota?
one more quick get together. I'm sorry.
With Nakota?
Without him right now. So let's talk about the points on it.
Yeah.
I've
go
sent
ahead.
a copy to Mr. Hernandez. I explained all the things that had changed. He gave me a thumbs up pretty much and said if there's any issues, I'd give you a call. So I think we're all good at the contesting party here. We pretty much gave into a handful of them, which were fair, of things that he wanted changed, which I think were fair.
We need to take a trip to the courthouse because I have no MDT, and if I look at the one on my phone, we're going to be here forever. So,
okay, all right.
All right.
Well, I haven't updated the one. It's not probably formatted yet on the MDT.
Okay. How about this? Do you want to reformat it, address his questions? We'll review it in the morning, and then right after tomorrow's meeting, we'll jump right into the VATF meeting. That way, Michael's there as well.
Let's do it.
Okay, easy.
There's a couple things that I didn't change that he brought up, or I think I fixed, but you probably need to look at one more time. But about 95% of it, 90% of it, I've changed and cleaned it up and made it a bit shorter, like he asked. So fair enough, though. We can talk tomorrow about it.
Yeah, that's probably going to be more productive, so we see a more finaler form. You made the
it's in that final
tags.
form, but I'm sorry.
You made the tags. I forgot. We can actually share it. I was about to suggest putting it into that new folder that my office.
I made the new folder. I haven't given permissions to view it yet.
I got you. Okay.
So I still got to go through that.
All right. Will the document be ready for tomorrow?
Yes, the document's ready now.
Oh, I thought you said
it's an actual hand document. It's not on the MBT.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can send you a copy of it. Here on the phone.
Yes. Okay, we can do that. Yeah. I say we meet with Michael there as well because I know he had most of the commentary. I don't want to exclude him out of this.
Have you seen his commentary?
I have some of it. I've been in meetings all day, so he put them in this morning, and I was going to review it right afterwards, but it was like a 2-hour fucking legislative meeting.
Absolutely. I sent you a copy if you want to request access to that. 'Cause that was
Let me see. Yep, I should see it. I see a cursor on it. Articles. Okay, let's go over just high level. Strike point assignment. Any person owning will be used in the following sections. Section A strikes on.
I had to edit that real quick.
Yep. Any personally owned vehicle that has been used in one of the following sections: A, B, C, D, E, entry, induced violent felony. You don't want to be writing those out.
You don't.
I would not, because if you, you can just know that the way that you wrote section A. Okay, I see how this is being done.
Should we just get rid of the details essentially?
So
just leave it as injury-inducing violent felony.
One very small detail, but though it is critical, is article, section, subsection goes number, letter, number. So what that should be is the A, B, C, D, E, F should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the way that you should write this is any personally owned vehicle that has been used in one of the following subsections, colon, and then you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, so my lowercase letters right now. So it should be section. I'm sorry, hang on, let me make sure.
So it goes Article 1, which is a number,
Article
that's
1.
good. And then Section A, which is a letter, which is good. But then you're enumerating A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Either that needs to be
Like
1,
that?
2, 3. Yeah, either needs to be 1, 2, 3, or it needs to be a bullet point. because in a legislative document, the numbers and the letters in this format are either a section, subsection, article, etc. So I think these are intended to be bullet points, right? And I think what you're trying to say here is any person that owns a vehicle that has been used in the following sections, and then you say colon. I wouldn't even say sections. And used one of the following offenses. Say following offenses, colon. And then the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, turn that into bullet points. Or are these headers? Is A, B, C, D, E, F supposed to be
That is
subsections?
absolutely handwritten in there.
Okay, gotcha. So just bullet point those. That should be fine. Now, here's the problem with the way that if you format it this way, is you are now saying that injury-inducing violent felonies yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, if you put specifics in there, you're now tying that legislation to be lich-pinned to, you're going to make this document dependent on every other document. You know what I mean? So if a penal code charge changes, if new violent felonies get added, etc., there's a risk there. If injury-inducing violent felony is not descriptive enough, then the descriptiveness of what that is intended to mean needs to be expanded on, even though I think it's pretty self-evident.
So we have it under Article 3. We start going over what each.
Sorry, one sec.
That's my mayor. No,
hey,
my bad. I was extremely busy earlier.
Absolutely. Hey, we're buying. If you're selling, I got a bunch of brokers around. So if you want to give me a ring a ding.
Yeah, just spoke to Charles. How much are we doing for 1,000 plus?
3,000 plus.
3,000 plus? Is that bulk?
No, bulk is 3K plus. 3K plus crypto.
How much will that be?
For less than 3K?
Less than 3K is 290, right?
Yes.
And then 3K plus is what?
320.
Okay.
Either scrounge it up or if you got less. Because here's the thing, right? We don't, it's like chump change, DK. Like we need more than that. You know what I mean? We got we got energy costs. We got this and that. You saw what happened in China, right?
I seen what happened with China. Trust me, I've seen
fucking 5090s. Can't get them anymore. Yeah.
And then guess what? And then
hey, give him a call, man. I'm in the middle of something right now.
All right, easy. In a bit,
all right, easy. Right. All right.
Okay, so Article 3, Section A breaks down the points per incident, or per essentially general category it falls under. Do we need to define these under definitions? So should we add a section that's definitions?
Let me take a look at the rest of this document real quick. The intention here is that injury-inducing violent felony has a different point system than felony obstruction.
Correct. Our goal is to deter using your vehicles for felonies which people are injured in. Therefore, having a heavier hand if they say shoot or stab someone or hurt someone and use a vehicle in a commission of a crime. As opposed to say,
So Article 1, Section A. Wait, I'm very confused how to read this. So the strike point assignment, how do I know where are the assignments for those offenses?
That's the bullet points.
So each one of those are worth what? 1 point?
Those are situations in so those are essentially what can occur points. And then what the individual point, it's probably too far away. So this is something that was brought up that I'm not sure how to address.
Yeah, I would say that all of what
Article
it should
3.
be is there should be a singular section that lists these things and then shows what their point values are. You know?
Okay, so Article 3, Section 8 has that. We probably need to bring that up. That's something I want to
Yeah.
ask Michael, who's not actually.
Well,
he
you
said
don't.
around.
Yeah, he's not going to be around until tomorrow. I mean, like, why separate Article 1 from Article 3?
Okay.
I'd combine them, right? Like, it should be. I think you should have like Article 1, like, hey, Section A, we're going to be seizing shit that gets strike that's used in some set of crimes, right? And then like Section B, right? Like defining what are the strikes and what are the point allocations, right? Because the strike isn't a part of the seizure, in my opinion. Yeah, just combine that. Yeah. And I would even further suggest that, God damn it, I don't have my MDT. This should probably go into the driver license legislation, to be honest. I don't know. We'll pause. Keep writing it this way, and then we can always move it somewhere else.
Okay. I mean that's I'm definitely flipping some things around for sure. So let's
I'd say I would clean it up so that you have one section that literally describes what offenses something is going to be striked in and what those strikes look like. And then another section that talks about how it rolls off. And then another section that describes how it's seized. And I think that captures everything. And it's like, when you read it, it's like logically in order. You know what I mean?
So would you say that these should be bullet points under Section B as well here now? Those 3?
Yeah, you can have them bullet points. If you wanted to like put more content in there, like to further expand on what an injury-inducing violent felony is, which honestly you probably should do.
Definitions.
Then you can do a subsection, right? But do bullet points for now. If you want to expand on what is a injury-inducing violent felony, like in words that are descriptive, anything that is that gets associated with a felony charge, you know what I mean? But leave it like that for now.
Okay. I'll adjust all these to be bullet points to keep it simple.
Hey, what's going on, DK?
Hey, so what? Really? Oh, 1 sec.
You good?
Listen, yeah, I'm doing some talk in a minute. I called you too early, but just give me a bit. I'll give you a call soon. I have
All
some
right.
shit for
All
you.
right. Bye.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Okay. I'll adjust these to match that same bullet point format all the way down. And how about a definition area above Article 1 or above table of contents?
Definitions are good. You should define maybe what a strike is, what a strike point is.
Strike point, violent felony, or that's where we could put
Injury-inducing violent felony. Yeah, that's good.
Right.
Yeah,
we'll
that's
put all
really
that
good. Yeah.
under there then.
Because that would be my fear looking at this is like, what is a injury-inducing violent felony?
I mean, or we could reword it, make it even more straightforward. Violent felony with bodily harm.
Like
violent felony without bodily harm.
like what does that mean?
You don't think that's straightforward enough? I mean, I understand.
I don't know what that
definitions, don't get me
means.
wrong,
I
but-
think it's vague if I'm going to be honest.
It's really
Okay.
like this whole like I'm reading over this whole thing. This whole thing. So from the perspective of if I'm coming from an officer level, I understand what we're trying to do here, right? We're trying to discourage people to use their vehicles for serious felonies.
Right.
But it just This whole thing feels kind of like. Excuse me, permission to speak freely, sir.
Okay.
It just feels extra. We already have people. We already have officers that can't articulate anything, and now you're throwing this whole thing in them. I think it's just.
Why the hell are you telling me this now when you've had this for weeks?
I never looked over it.
God damn it, Peters.
Yep.
I think the intent is good. I do, but I don't know. But this is, and the other thing is knowing your rights as a citizen of Los Santos. Everything's getting so damn complicated. Am I wrong, Nino?
You've been playing Crim way too long in the mornings, brother. I'm just no. I'm just fucking with you. No. Yeah. I agree. I actually agree. However, I am going to take some of Turner's side here as well. Well, I agree with your perspective. I think the problem, and I understand why there's the need for the VAF stuff, is you guys are dealing with swap after swap, and there needs to be a repercussion attached with using a personal vehicle, which I totally agree. Even though I think, and I still stand on the fact that the real actual issue here is with refracting a little bit is that the amount of work and effort that you have to do to get something VAFed is actually hyper cooked and is a waste of time and has no value in city ways.
So that's the issue.
And, I think you should be able to go up to a vehicle, slap some shit on it, and if that vehicle is used in something where anyone was hit with some sort of thing, you just VAF it. So if you come in with if you come in to save your boy and it was a fucking like OIS, you getting fucking slapped on the dick, right?
Well, hang on. So then why don't we just do that? Why don't we just fix the
you don't have
legislation and do that?
The tool doesn't exist, unfortunately, brother.
Yeah, but currently we have to have possession of that vehicle in the sense that we, in the middle of a scene. I mean, I guess it's complicated in the middle of a scene.
The problem is because I'm just going to refract because you should be able to walk up to a vehicle and listen. You probably heard this from somebody else, but it's fine.
Okay, yeah.
Is that you should be able to slap some shit in the ground where the engine is not broken, right? So you don't have to fucking. Oh my god. Hold on.
Wheel
Hold on 1 second.
How do those work?
Oh, they don't work good.
Okay.
Hey, how you doing? What's going on, War Hero? Yeah, your chief's asking about that VAF shit you've been pissed about for so long. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, okay. Don't fucking tell me. Fucking tell. Okay, listen, bitch. Are you fucking serious? Your fucking chief is right over here. You see this, Turner? Your fucking cops every fucking time. I've tried. It's this fucking night cunt.
Okay. You tell him to talk to me, okay? Not bring it to you.
Okay.
And then I'll bring it
I'm
to
gonna
you
put it on
once it's
speaker.
filtered. Okay, all right.
Hey, what's going on, Chief? Yeah, this
what's going on?
Well, this I haven't really done a VAF before until about like 4 weeks ago, just because I'd done it a million times in the past, and I decided to do it one day because I want to be helpful. I was attached to a call, and I spent the next 40 fucking minutes having to write.
Language there, night.
Yes, sir. I had to spend the next 40 minutes writing a report that was the quality of having beyond a reasonable doubt for a car. It doesn't make any sense. Every time someone does a swap and we need to stay behind on a vehicle, we are down powering ourselves when we should be up powering, because if they're swapping, we should be getting more aggressive. But when they swap, we get less aggressive because now we have two less vehicles. And what makes it worse is if they get away, we're still having to write now this entire warrant, bench trial level, court level document to put 3 points on a vehicle worth $45,000. The only way you can, honestly, you probably got to talk to the government when you go and impound those vehicles. The engine block should just fucking explode, and we should be able to go back and collect it if we think it is of value. Not leave cops behind. It's crazy.
Yeah, I you know what? Let me have a chat with the mayor here. We'll see what we can do. No guarantees, okay?
Yep. Yes, sir. And by the way, I apologize. I thought I was talking to the mayor here. He called me.
Is that how you talk to the mayor normally?
Mayor can suck my dick, sir.
You're on speakerphone.
Hey, what the fuck? Are you fucking serious?
I'll deal with you
oh,
later
I gotta
then,
go. I gotta go, sir.
Yeah.
Well, he's a war hero, sir.
I apologize there,
He
Nino.
works for the president. He works for somebody above you, Nino. That's why he's my best friend. And
Yeah.
You're not.
Peters.
Sorry, sir.
All right. So, no, I actually completely agree with Knight there. Unfortunately, I've written some letters, and unfortunately, they may have fallen on deaf ears.
And I do recognize that. I think with all this, I do understand that we're like trying to effectively
Work with what we got.
work with what we got, and it's fucking challenging to find what that middle ground is.
I know you haven't necessarily had to deal with VATS before, but they are a pain. It's just a lot of paperwork. We are, we're losing manpower out there when we should be getting more aggressive.
I
Do
am
you
gonna.
have anything in mind? That
I think it's a waste of y'all's time, and I've spoken to it before. VAFing vehicles because people are just going to replace them anyways, and that energy that you are sapping from the good cop, only your good cops are probably doing the right amount of work to VAF the vehicles. The ones that are not going to fuck off to the next thing are the ones that aren't going to, run a scene, but then magically disappear to another S-boost, leaving the bag on somebody else.
Yeah.
And that those same officers are the ones that you actually want out on the streets because they are going to make sure quantum is satisfied. That if there's a terrorist, that they're out there, right? Instead of spending their energy wasting their time on a fucking car that's going to get replaced anyways.
Would you say that officers are more so interested in punishing criminals or upholding justice?
I think
In your personal opinion.
that is, I would agree. That's always been the case. Yes. But I don't see that going after the VAF is a punishment, right? It's a natural consequence. But however, to achieve that consequence right now with the tools that you have from a human resource perspective, as like a resource in terms of the energy level, like the tank in that one officer's, fucking body that day, why spend 20% of that tank on a vehicle, whereas that 20% tank could be used to do actual police work? And this is actual police work, but it's not at the same time. Like if you were to prioritize problems in the city, you know what I mean?
I am with you there.
Yeah.
I am with you there. But what is our solution?
Fuck VAFs. Just fuck them.
Drop VAFs completely.
Brother, I am never going to give you a call to be like, no one is going to ever the people that you serve and protect are never going to call and complain that oh my God, you didn't VAF that guy's vehicle. No, the complaints that I get about the PD by not the wham we got raided is that something happened to me and the cops didn't care, or they didn't have someone to take a statement, or didn't try to protect me and go to court to protect my ass, right? I get more of those, right?
Are we derelict on our duties when the vehicle is used in the commission of a crime by not?
No, you would be derelicting
in some way, shape,
you
or
would
form.
be derelicting your duties if there was a actual negative. No, because in order for that to be true, VAFing vehicles would have a actual effect, which
Would
it
there be
doesn't.
evidence of a crime though?
So so VAF is different than documentation, right? So let's use an example. Someone is murdered inside of a vehicle, and their blood is inside, right? And that vehicle is inherently take a photo, fucking document it, fuck off, right? And that's it, right? Which probably takes 5 minutes, as opposed to investing 40 minutes to make sure that there's points on a $45,000 Astron that's gonna have its points, that's gonna have its parts stripped out the second it has enough points, or it has enough points on it, and put in a new one,
Yeah, that's the other point I was going to make with it. It doesn't. 90% of these cars don't even matter. Like the ones they're doing for crime, they buy, like criminals literally buy them for the purpose of like,
Right.
we know this car is going to get vaffed. Fuck it.
What's your take then, Peters?
It's hard because obviously I think we're at a point now where we have a hyperinflated economy, and it doesn't matter. Like I understand the documentation and all of that stuff, but
it's not one correction there, Peter, because I love what you're saying. It's not necessarily hyperinflated. Some groups have a lot of money. Everyone else is broke as shit.
Okay,
it's that car. Some of these other cars, when upgraded, are 45. It's $45,000 for the vehicle. That $800,000 worth of parts, they can just move around.
Okay,
so that's kind of the goal with this new legislation, though, right? Is it doesn't matter the value of the vehicle. It's more so what it was used in. We hit them with the fines.
It won't. That won't. Okay, here. Let me rephrase that. Not hyperinflated economy, but all the gangs who are doing illegal activities have hyperinflated bank accounts to where this won't even matter. And all it's going to do is, if that is the case, these gangs will then just become more aggressive with us to get their cars out. That's kind of my take on it.
Okay, this is complete. Can you pause legislations?
Yeah, I can literally rip it out.
But then you'd have to go through the whole process to get it back in place, right?
Yeah, 3 days. Who's going to stop me? I mean, look, I don't think anyone's going to confront my ass outside of like maybe.
No, but then all the points get wiped, and you'll have some pissed off people for sure.
Why would it be wiped?
Because you're removing the entire system.
No, because stopping the legislation would not inherently remove records. Just like if we made.
That's not what Michael says.
Listen, I love Michael, but
that was one of his specific points.
Michael is great. But a lot of y'all fall for the Michael sometimes goes overcooks to like make people get like freak out.
Well, he specifically had me remove the part where we reset everyone's points after the system comes into play, because he said that's essentially implied as the system's being
No,
reworked.
it's not. That's not true.
Okay.
I think that clarity would be important. You have to remember, Michael comes from. How do I put this? Michael went to legislation school, and so there are certain things that may be true in Canada that is definitely not going to happen in San Andreas. So
okay.
Well,
to be fair, I was just kind of briefing over. He said since it's a new system, it could just be done by a state announcement instead of needing to be in legislation and being, inflating the legislative.
I think this is why we probably should have had the meeting with him tomorrow before editing the entire document. Because to be fair, right? I don't want to undermine his statements there too, because when the comments are in there, it's usually better. And giving some like historic is putting comments in there. It's good for us to get in a room and like actually talk about that comment. Because sometimes even I'll make a comment and I'll think I'm right. I don't want y'all should challenge it, right? Because I may not see a different perspective, right? So
yeah, that's fair. I understood what he was saying and it made sense, which is whichever. We could talk about it tomorrow then and go over it all. I got practice out of this and understanding, so I'm better for it either way.
I certainly would, just to be clear, there should be a section in there that makes it clear as to what's going to happen to old points, right?
Okay, all right. Well, we got to revert it back to the old version, which can be done. No worries.
I think that's probably a good idea. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But going back to this, do we get rid of Fs? I mean, let me ask a very simple question, right? How many man hours do you believe you spend a week on VAFs?
Too many. I don't know. Wait.
Let's say 100?
Maybe, yeah.
Or let's use a percentage. Would you say 10% of your force's time is used on VAFs?
Yes, I'd say roughly 10.
Okay.
Gotta guesstimate it.
When is the last time you took someone's vehicle and it made a difference to anything that you did?
I don't think ever. Which is again why I was.
There we go.
System. I think it goes both ways. I think we're looking at I wouldn't say extremes, but we're looking at different ends of the spectrum with the same goal in mind, which is, well, not same goal. You're saying essentially, and I'm not disagreeing with you, that they're a mess and we should basically just forget about them and focus on the police work. Whereas on the other end, we're saying now we're adding weight to those vehicles, no matter what they were used for. And
It's like,
it's really something I'll have to think about.
yeah, it's something that, and I don't remember when I first approached this, like before you achieve, I get the idea of like, hey, isn't Nino trying to save someone's cars? Reality is that in my mind, I'm playing a game of we're executives at the end of the day, right? It's a, you're running a department. I'm running the mayor's office. It's like Wing. We have only so many resources at our disposal. For me, one of those resources is the police department, and that resource is aimed at preventing crime and investing time where like the civilians get the most impact. And to me, when I look at it, it's like, even if it was twice as easy to VAF a vehicle, what's that going to do? It's not going to do anything, right? So, but what it will do is, once again, your best and brightest, the ones willing to put in reports and go through the trouble of like staying back on the side, they're wasting their time with a fucking dog shit vehicle, right? That's going to get replaced in a heartbeat. Versus
PD2 out of business too, then, huh?
Well, I mean, you know what I think would make sense is, so when you have a vehicle, right? So let's talk about why is a vehicle documented? A vehicle is documented so that it can be entered into evidence, right? And what happens to that vehicle is not known until later. Like, for example, let's say I murdered Quantum. I got in a vehicle and I ran over Quantum with the car, right? And now there's blood spatter on the hood. And then cops came. I saw it. I masked up. I get out of the vehicle. I run in and I get into my buddy's supercar and drive off. That vehicle is being documented now, so we know what the license plate is. We know what was inside. Maybe was there not any evidence in the glove box? Was there any in the trunk? And then document the blood splatter, right? Now that it's been documented, the only real thing that needs to be done is send that bitch to the impound, right? But the moment it's left the scene, that should be the end of the evidentiary standard. And what happens in the future to it, you're now documented. In the event you catch me and you need that evidence to charge me with the murder, right? Because that's a murder weapon.
There's got to be a middle ground though, right? Because I think I see where the chief's coming from on this, and I understand where you're coming from on it, Nino. But like, am I tripping? Are you going down the lines that we shouldn't have any legislation on VAF stuff?
I think we're just exploring it, to be honest, because even as we're discussing it, right? I don't actually know why we went down this route. I think we've just been talking.
Well, we went right. I mean, that is the angle that he's taking here, and more so, we're going through in our head. Is officers' time more?
The thing is VAFing a vehicle, right? So VAFing here's my opinion. VAFing a vehicle shouldn't be hard. Right now we have this whole and I agree with Nino. I think Nino's 100% right in this. Like, is that time worth doing? Just like I think we should be as officers going out and responding to a ton of other shit, but unfortunately sometimes we have to get hit with the VAF shit. So I think the biggest thing, instead of doing like this was my issue with the current legislation you're proposing, is it's too complex. Like, all it's doing is creating more things that officers have to learn, the public then has to learn, then we have to execute. And every single time people are going to be asking in that scenario, like, hey, is it point system 1, point system 2, or point system 3? I think with the current VAF system we have, writing the crazy report is extremely tedious. And I know when Knight was on the phone, I know exactly what he was talking about, because it feels like you have
Here's our problem, though. I'm just gonna cut you off there for a moment. Here's our problem: is we have no better tools. It's not getting easier than what we have it at right now.
Well, no, the thing would be is don't write a fucking crazy report. The vehicle was used in this. Here's the crime. Here's the documentation, reference report, and that's
But the problem is, but
Then
then
the report
it's gonna
needs to have
get, but then it's gonna, the VAF is gonna get removed because it's gonna lose in court because everyone knows
And everyone's
how much
contesting.
work you need to do to actually, because in order to get that vehicle striked, that report needs to be the same level of quality as getting a conviction.
Yeah, well, then the
Except it's
DOJ needs
even
to get in
harder. It makes it
fucking
even
line
harder because it's you just have to call up a attorney and be like, I'm challenging the VAF, right? And we know we're going to win because you never got someone in custody. So now your level of your amount of evidence is
You don't need
very
someone
low.
in custody though.
We don't
for it,
even
right?
need
No,
anyone in
you don't
custody for
need
VAF.
one. No, guys, I recognize that, but if you don't have someone in
We
custody,
don't need somebody in custody for
Peters.
VAF.
yes, I know. Someday when you look at the you should take a look at the docket and look at the template and see whose name's on that. All right,
We don't need
the one
anyone in
dated from
custody, you know. I don't
was
know what
it
you're talking about?
dated from 7 years ago. Anyways, the reason when you don't have someone in custody and charged with the crimes, your ability to win that VAF appeal is exponentially more difficult because that arrest and those charges and everything that came with it is like a big part is the evidence.
I see what you're saying there.
Yeah. Because you can tie
Well, that
the
goes
name
back
and the
to spirit of the law
affiliation and
versus spirit of the law versus letter of the law, and the DOJ going absolutely balls to the wall.
it's not a
That's the
spirit.
other
It's
thing.
not a
Fucking DOJ. The DOJ literally doesn't. Okay, well, that's bench trials. Is that our meeting on?
no,
Thursday?
guys. Let's be.
I'm gonna
It's
get
not
on,
a DOJ problem. You can't fix it with the DOJ, guys, because you're seizing an asset. To seize an asset does require beyond a reasonable doubt. This is Western law philosophy. The problem is there is no way. Like, unless you change, like, vehicles can be VAF'd with less than beyond a reasonable doubt. It would need to be dropped down to probable cause. Do you want, am I making sense here?
You're saying
When you seize a person's asset, because people have the right to property, etc., in order to seize that asset, whether it's a vehicle, whether it's a house, whether it's anything that that at that point in time belonged to them, you need beyond a reasonable doubt that asset, that property, whatever it is, that it was beyond a reasonable doubt to have been used for a crime. And by not having somebody in custody being able to prove that it was tied to a crime gets substantially harder. That's really hard. Like, it's not the DOJ's fault on this. It's just,
I mean, witness testimony of somebody inside of a bank and pictures of it there is not enough. You're saying, if we didn't catch them, you're saying essentially it was the interference, though.
yeah, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of
Different
like
levels
a lot
of
of them. Yeah, there's different levels, right? I mean, what I'm saying is, like, when these appeals end up being successful for the defense attorney, right? That in and of itself is a sign of that, and it's not the DOJ in that case. But
Okay, so how do we fix this?
I genuinely think that fuck this VAF shit. Why don't we just put in a charge using personal vehicle? Like, why take the
That's
car?
actually-
Why not just fucking charge them and charge it based on, like, I don't know, with the engine rating of the vehicle? You pop the hood. You look at the fucking number on it. Is it 1,100 or is it 400? And based on that number, you, like, I don't know, multiply it by 2.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, I
Then
know.
what do
I'm
we
a
do?
fucking genius.
So that's only for the driver of the vehicle, right? That's not on the vehicle. It doesn't follow it around.
Yeah,
Whoever
I
the
get-
driver was.
Yeah, you just can't
If you
make it
catch the
complex,
driver,
or-
you fucking rip that driver. And fuck it. Give the passenger 1x, give the driver 2x. Like, why not? Easy clap right there. You have to catch.
Passenger in a personal vehicle. Is that Opal calling you?
It is. Yep. No, that
let
was
me
me.
check here. If she's calling
That's not
everyone,
me.
let me see what's going on.
Agree to
Another Opal.
disagree.
Everything all right?
Hear me, Nino?
Yeah, I'm in a meeting at the moment. If it's not urgent or important at this very moment, then yes, we can talk later. Okay, I will call you back. All right, bye-bye. Okay.
I actually fuck with this idea a lot. Like, it's spinning it on its head. I get people want to seize vehicle. I'm just saying it feels like a waste of time. It feels like a waste of y'all's resources. Is that instead, if you can articulate that someone was in a car that was personally owned, and like if Bob got into Michelle's vehicle and Michelle gave the car, like the keys to him, right? Even then, Bob, who's the driver, if he's caught, he gets the vehicle score times 2 or 3, whatever multiple.
I mean, what is that charge going to be detailed as? Using a personal vehicle? You don't think that's going to get shot down?
No, look at the rental charge. That exists, right?
Let's take a look at it. Misuse of a rental vehicle. Any individual who utilizes a rental vehicle in the commission of a crime. So you're saying misuse of a personal vehicle?
Yeah, misuse of a
unauthorized use of a vehicle.
No, it's his vehicle. It's authorized, right?
Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, misuse of a registered vehicle, right? That registered vehicles are willfully being given to individuals, or personal vehicles are being used for high-end crimes with varying, calibration levels, thus resulting in law enforcement having to constantly beg Nino for yachts and all kinds of car parts, even though the chief keeps saying, listen, high command, put your fucking things into a fucking shared report, over and over, to the extent that Nino is now spending all his day buying unpacking boxes and to save him from having a migraine, and to save officers from having a migraine, and from saving yourselves from losing your own vehicles forever and swapping, your parts into new cars, We're just now going to charge people with using a registered vehicle. And so any vehicle that was not broken into, right? Because that's already needed.
Untampered with. Well,
untampered with.
It doesn't matter if it's tampered with, right? If they're operating.
I think in this case it would need to be untampered, right? Because if someone steals a car and then uses it,
why not? It's on the driver.
Why not? Why not?
It's on the driver now.
I agree, actually.
Not on the owner.
Yeah, if you use a high performance vehicle, maybe we say high performance.
Well, hang on. What happens now when you got this 1,200 horsepower thing being tossed around between each member of a gang used for crimes?
Who cares? They're all getting hit by, but what do you mean?
Well,
like they keep using the same car. You're not,
vehicles, right?
You're deterring it by finding the fuck out of the people using a high performance vehicle.
Yeah, but I would say vehicle swaps and not ever touching the person. I guess we'd have to catch people.
I'm kind of buying into this. I'm gonna be honest. What you're doing, you're hitting someone on using a high performance vehicle. In fact, that fine can be big enough that if you get into a high performance vehicle, that's a part of your robbery cost, to be honest. You can, if you try to get away in a 2-door sports car and you get caught, you're getting hit, bitch, right?
Yeah, as long as you don't start falling under umbrellas either, then, right? They're not going to fall under the robbery umbrellas because they include reckless evading, right?
We're already rewriting that.
Yeah, well, it would be regardless be a different charge that wouldn't fall under reckless evading.
I'm saying
we can make that a part of it, and because at the end of the day, it's about deterrence, right? And yeah, I think it is cringe as fuck watching fucking, people jump onto bikes like 5 minutes into a fucking robbery. I think it's cringe as fuck, like, 5 minutes into a robbery, jumping into supercars and shit like that. It's fucking cringe. At that point, if you want the money, just fucking take it. Take it and go somewhere else.
I think this opens up a whole lot of more what ifs and situations that we need to explore before we obviously follow through with it, and probably needs to be put in writing.
Are there any more what ifs? If you get into a high performance vehicle that is like, let's say whatever, let's spitball a number. Let's say 800 plus rating. You now get into this charge. If you are the driver of that vehicle, let's say it's 800, right? Maybe it's a 5x multiplier, right? If you are a passenger beneficiary, in other words, an accessory or accomplice to a crime in that thing, you get like, I don't know, 2x or something like that. And that is solving the problem that we're describing here, which is using high performance vehicles in a robbery. Because we've effectively all agreed that you're never going to be able to take those high performance vehicles away.
You're talking about a driver in one vehicle swapping to another vehicle as a passenger. Are
No,
you
no, no.
charging that?
If you are in a 1200, a X-type 1200 score vehicle at a Polito robbery, there's 4 people in there. They crash the car. You catch them all. That driver gets 5x times 1200. The passenger gets like 2x 1200 because they all benefited in being the supercar, right? But you're saying, what if they do swap and swap and swap?
Right. So what happens? What happens when we?
Well, if these motherfuckers are swapping
we have to recover the cars then and document them.
You only need to document it.
Right, but we can't. If we're at a Polito robbery and say, let's just say a passenger is in a vehicle and they flee, and we happen to catch a passenger, but we don't catch a vehicle or the driver of that vehicle. How are we going to charge them with if we don't know what's in that vehicle?
Yeah, okay. So high performance vehicle crashes out. Oh, wait, run the scenario again?
Yeah,
right, so say they go for a swap. The passenger goes for a swap, and then we catch him mid-swap.
You catch
driver,
the passenger.
Everybody else gets away.
Okay, in that case, you can't.
So we never get a
This
chance
is
to see
only
what
if
the
you.
vehicle is.
This is only if you get the vehicle, right?
Right. So that's essentially.
So
I think what
it's an
this
equal
is
playing
essentially
field as
what
the VAF.
That's essentially what would be replacing the VAF. So it's like
You're not.
vehicle, we
You're
don't
not.
have
It's not. It's not because the Keeley. It's not because you only needed to document that vehicle, which took 5 minutes, right? They could go steal it for all it matters, right? As long as the glove box, trunk, under the hood, right, didn't get broken off. Now you got the charge, and you got the person you're pressing the charge on. Done and done. If they got away, if that high performance car got away, then it wouldn't matter anyways. It's not even covered by this topic because you can't do a VAF against it anyways. They're with the current system.
I'd have to sit down and kind of. I'd like to think about it more and see what the implications of a system like this would be.
Absolutely, and I want to be clear here. I'm not dead set on like, yo, Turner, let's do a 180. We will do a 180, but rather I'm saying let's try to be creative here because I kind of fuck with this idea. Like let's keep it fucking simple, right?
Making it more streamlined and simple would be great.
If people's robberies are dog shit, then you hit them with a dog shit charge. You know what I mean? And take a dog shit level, put the same amount of effort in to hit them with it.
Listen, if people are being dog shit and doing 8 swaps and on motorcycles, then we're not going to have anybody to charge. Let's be honest too.
Yeah, but we have no tool against that, right?
Right.
And I'm in agreement. I want to listen. I've wanted to ban motorcycles. Last chief didn't let me. Oh, someone didn't. Peters, I tried. I forgot. Some people. I personally want to ban motorcycles. If you want me to be honest. Actually, PD stopped me.
I really haven't seen motorcycles as much of an issue.
I think the last
only from
time they
time to
wanted to
time.
ban motorcycles. Yeah.
It's only from time to time. I haven't seen them as much lately. At least
I hate motorcycles.
I enjoy riding a motorcycle, but yeah,
I do
chasing
too. I
them's,
mean, in a robbery.
Yeah.
So you get on a fucking bike, just shoot them.
Oh, you know what the worst is? Dope dealing calls where you go down to Cyprus and they're selling dope and they just take that squeeze so you can't even. Never mind. Different, but yeah.
Yeah.
Agree to disagree, you know?
I think, unfortunately, I think we're taking a few steps back towards fixing or adjusting the VAF legislation.
I don't think there's anything unfortunate. This is a good conversation.
No, I think it's for the better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting officers, freed up sooner is good, as long as we have repercussions for people using those cars in an attempt to deter crime.
Yeah, we're deterring the use of high performance vehicles.
Right.
I mean, we
Let's,
could even be creative about this and say, listen, like, it could even be something like, you know, if it's not, you know, if it's a high security, right, your first one's free. I'm not even kidding. Listen, we're not dealing with the most, you know, I'd be okay with that. I want to be very clear.
So are you saying essentially
Your first vehicle might be free if it's a high security, right? But as soon as there's a swap, now all your shit's at risk, right?
what if you had a multiplying?
I want an
effect, more vehicles
anti-swap.
involved?
Huh?
The more vehicles involved, the higher the fund. Then we got to prove. Oh yeah, proving that's gonna be tough.
No. I don't think you have to be multiplicative there, because the key where we're flipping the script here is we're charging a person that you have in your custody, right? And not worrying about the other shit, right? Houses seize them all day, right? That's where put all the fucking effort in. But a fucking vehicle, these are discardable, right? They're discardable things that take way too much work. Imagine every gun that you had to like how much you had to do this much effort. Like
why
what
are they
the fuck?
discardable?
They're discardable because of the car parts. It's going to be worse now. You know
There's
that,
nothing we
right?
can do about car parts,
Huh?
right? There's nothing we can do about
No,
car
because there's
parts.
no serial
No.
number. How are you going to track it?
Yeah. I mean, they're not inherently illegal either. You know what I mean?
No, they
Performance
are.
parts used in the commission of a robbery can be removed.
That's overcooked. That's overcooked.
Okay, I had to try.
Yeah. You know, it's bad, these parts. Like it's I was just telling Peters, we pulled they're now estimate like $8 to $10 million of crates. There's only 7 sets of stage 5s right now. Yep.
Okay, great. I can pull my vehicle back up to the entrance here.
Oh, we're not open yet.
Okay, all right.
Oh, by the way, you mentioned, do I have a yote? I don't. That's the other thing. We pulled the block. We yet don't have all the parts to actually build it.
Yeah, was it like 28 parts or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So,
That's
and that
gonna be
was
fucking-
1/8 million.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I mean, engines are repairable, right? They don't really break down.
They do
Ne-
eventually.
They do, yeah.
So you can't. How
But
does
you
it-
can repair it up. And that's the
You can repair it,
other
though.
that's the other
Oh.
service. So 2 of those boxes right there, we have took all the stage 3s and below, and they've been disintegrated into parts that can repair stuff.
So you can
So at
hold
the-
some stage trees for us.
At the end of this
With the request.
entire wait, why would you want stage 3s?
Shared vehicles, unless you want to put 4s in those as well.
It's up to your budget. I don't mind. Once you see the breakdown, like, you know, once
We'll
once
have to figure out
Kortz is back
prices.
up. Yeah, exactly. I don't even know what the prices are yet. And that's, by the way, for reference, why nothing's being given, because the Excel sheet is migraine inducing. It's literally, we're reverse engineering a Pokemon, like percentages on Pokemon value cards type shit. So once we do have those prices, you know, we got you. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay. And you're saying this is going to be coming from the county, right?
what's going to happen is when you go to the new court center, the court center is going to become a fulfillment center. It is going to offer mechanic shops wholesale car parts. And what that means is now Bruce Baylor doesn't own 80% of the vehicles or the car parts and skyrocket the prices and leverage the court center's catalog to like oversell, right? Instead, we're going to have the actual true MSRP based on the investment, right? You invest in, based on the probability of the part comes the price. We're going to take that price and we're going to subsidize those parts. So let's say an item is worth 100,000. We're going to get all that shit and the mechanic shops will be able to get it for 70,000 instead of 100,000 and then sell like PD, for example, direct. So you can buy it direct or you can go to any one of the mechanic shops, which all of which have been saying the same thing. They can't even get involved because of the price to market, because it's cooked.
Okay.
So
okay. Fair enough.
So yes, you're gonna have a vehicle either through us or one of the mechanic shops, and you'll be able to tap in just like everyone else. But you'll have your own, like, you know, like discounts and shit.
Fair enough. Figure it out as it comes. Okay, Baffing, I'm gonna take some notes, bring some talking points up for tomorrow once Michael's here. Hopefully we get Nakota here as well. See if the sheriff wants to come down. You want to talk with the sheriff as well?
About
Princess, do we want to brainstorm this all together, or do we want to have something?
Let's keep it to us, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I would be interested to see
listen,
what other people's views
I'm
of
gonna,
it is, just to poke holes.
I think internally y'all can do that, but you know the beauty of owning the county pretty much. She signs all my shit mostly. So we can do the let's go involve more people, and we can be like the House of Representatives, and we can spend more than 4 years trying to pass like basic shit, or we get it done, we pass it, and we say Los Santos County's doing this. Get on board or suck my dick. You know what I mean?
No, more or less. I want law enforcement, a couple more law enforcement people to look at it and poke holes in it, so that we get ahead of problems before
sure,
and then we have to amend it.
That sounds fantastic. How long have you guys been trying to do VATF?
Respectfully, sir, can I jump in here?
Peters, you didn't even look at the paper. I don't know if you have room to talk.
Okay. Well, that would be my point. If I'm the middle of the ground, your average PD person, I think going around and okay, never mind.
I do think that, and I want to just say this, but at the end of the day, Turner, you do what you think is best, because you guys are the most. This is kind of like your thing, right? But just keep in mind that when you bring too many cooks in the kitchen, there's going to be a lot of opinion and a lot of motherfuckers that have a whole lot to say. But where the fuck is Nakota? Where was the writing? Where was the sheriff when this was? Where was this? They're not interested. They're interested in giving you an opinion. They don't give a fuck beyond that. The moment they get this on their plate and you say, that's a good little bitch, go follow this legislation, we're going to be good. Otherwise, they're going to be in a fucking endless yap session. At least when we're yapping, we're making progress.
All right.
So
let's not meet tomorrow then, yeah?
Good choice. Yeah.
Let's say, what time was the meeting Thursday there? Peters, you remember? DOJ.
4 p.m. 4 p.m. Eastern.
4 p.m. Eastern. Do you want to do 11 on Thursday?
11 a.m.?
No, 2. I'm sorry. No, 2 p.m. Eastern Thursday.
An hour after this.
Let's pencil it in. Yeah. Let's say right after the meeting, huh?
After the meeting, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll put together some bullet points we can talk over.
DOJ thing, by the way.
You said when is it or what is it?
No, what is it? Like, is it expectations? Is that what we're talking about?
No, it's supposed to be a meeting with DOJ and legislative bodies.
For the purpose of?
The search and seizure legislation and others. Are you aware of that yet, Nino?
Wait a second. Oh, the standard stuff?
No. On Thursdays, we're supposed to, Thursday, the justices said we're going to have a meeting with legislative bodies. I think they're going to pass it by you today. Was that brought up?
Oh, they didn't mention it to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Should have been in the email, but I didn't see it.
Yeah.
There's always an off chance that they did mention it, but genuinely, I deal with a million things at once. So sometimes
I'll call them and bring it up again and see if just confirm that we're on for it and maybe relight that fire.
They may have told me. That's why anytime you like critically need me to do something, phone call, right? From
Absolutely.
you or Peters, right? Or like email. You know what I mean? That way I can like keep track of it as like a task item.
That's good. We'll pencil in for after meeting on Thursday.
Oh, they did. Actually, they did at the end of the meeting. That's right.
They did. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you on board for it?
Yeah. I can do that.
Okay. That's good. It's the search and seizure legislation. I think everyone's gonna give their 2 cents on, or at least talk about how it's been changed, and that's what we're looking for progress on.
I think that legislative meeting is probably like, how are things, what's going on, et cetera, et cetera. Give pretty much an opportunity for you guys to like ask like us questions kind of collectively elaborate on things maybe.
Have y'all is there any changes done to the search and seizure legislation yet?
I got a copy of it today.
Okay. Who wrote it?
Sean, but what's changing is the formatting. So the way that it's going to change is today it's a hodgepodge of dog shit. This updated one that Sean did now puts it into sections, and each section or article can be targeted by a bill. So instead of what ends up happening is if you change an entire legislation, it's stuck there for months. But now that it's in this format, you can say, okay, phone subpoenas, this is cooked. And then you change that specifically. This other thing might be cooked. You change that specifically. So, yeah. So Sean's put together a...
So it's basically just essentially what happened so far with all the criminal code. It's going to be broken down and...
Yep.
Okay.
And you can see some of the bills that have already started passing in regards to it.
Okay.
Yeah. We're also changing like... the thing we're going to be tackling is serial assaults and killing and targeted violence. Serial assaults is going to migrate more towards like serial killery shit. Targeted violence is scope's going to be opened up a little bit more. So like, let's say a gang attacked another, like a stall of civilians and kept doing it. That's like targeted violence, right? And then we are dabbling on whether or not. So Edgar and Lang had those charges put on them. It probably shouldn't have happened, if I'm going to be honest.
The targeted, or you're saying the serial assaults?
Serial assaults and and killings was aimed at serial killers, not very bad criminal that has more than 30 days statute of limitation. And so if there is a desire for something like that, it would be a new charge.
Anyway, back to roasting. So what were you saying?
Better a serial assaults and killings charge, better targeted charge.
Agree to disagree.
Okay, that's good. Oh man, today's been...
Does that work? Does that piss you off? Agree to disagree.
No, that doesn't piss me off. I think I only really get pissed off if someone wants an explanation for something, so and then they expect an honest response, and then they'll give one, and then I troll the fuck out of them, or tell them how I really feel. At which point, I'm not the one that's getting
agree
pissed.
To disagree.
I don't think that would.
No. Okay.
You'd have to say it when it was a non-bullshit moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm honestly glad we're going over this shit. This legislation is crazy.
This is my everyday. Why do you think I get pissed off when someone comes to me like, "Oh my God, Nino, just change this thing," and I'm like, "Bruh, do you not see all the shit I'm doing right now? You know how many fucking dozens of hours this takes?"
No, it's just the fucking loopholes in this is crazy. Well, not the loopholes, but you know what I'm saying is like why create more steps when you already have and Turner's not around. I'm going to say why create more steps for a PD that is already incompetent?
I agree. I think we're closer on the same page. I mean, it's embarrassing. I was embarrassedly pissed over some of this shit because I was just like, tell me how many ways you don't want to do your job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's not. It's not. I don't even know. That is the case, but it's so bad. I think previously with whatever the reason or the people that were hiring and the people they were hiring and they were trained, it's just like
PD keeps hiring like adrenaline junkies and not balancing it with actual cops.
It's not even. Yeah, it's. Well, I don't give a fuck if someone's an adrenaline junkie, but learn how to articulate.
But can I stop you there? I think you do care because you can. If your adrenaline junkie is coming second, because otherwise you're just. Oh shit! Oh my God! Ask him for a thing that breaks the engine.
I can. It's not. He doesn't do it. I gotta ask somebody else.
Oh.
Hey, where's my poop chocolates? Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. What's that? Is it Danish licorice? Because you know how much I love that. They give me kidney stones. Okay. All right.
I know, man.
Okay. Okay. Holy shit! I think I might have this plug on some new designer drug. By the way.
Already ran through this arc last year.
What? What arc?
You're gonna get blown up next. And there's gonna be another war.
Good, and then well, guess what? We'll have to fast forward 5 years. So I'm trying to speed run.
Oh man. No, I agree. This is things. The non-important things need to be simplified.
I appreciate what people are trying to do too. You know what I mean? It's like I think people want to have a hand in. Never mind, I'm not gonna say it.
No, say it. What?
I'm gonna say it. I appreciate that people want to have a hand in like helping, but at the same time, I feel like people just want to have a hand in to have a hand in. Hello.
Yeah.
Kind of. What's going on? I don't give it. I mean, if you want to write SOPs on it and then clear it with, how's your relationship?
I
with
think you
Ruby?
need to
Because I
have
think
someone that
everything's kind of
has to be
shift by shift
captain,
thing, and
as
you're gonna have to
chief,
talk
and
about it.
more that brings things
Just
all to a head because she's doing it all one.
You have our
Wait,
support,
what are you talking
but
about?
I would say first get the
Back.
support of kind of like shift lead for this. Is this like more shift 2 thing, by the way? You're on more shift 2, right? Okay. Yeah. Get it cleared with her, and then after that, generally what we like to see for units is like write up some SOPs, give this to us, and then we'll kind of like ask you questions, interview you about the whole thing. But first go to Ruby on everything. Okay. Yep. Anyway, what were we talking about? Hands in the pot for hands.
Yeah, you said hot hands in the pot. Yeah, people. A lot of people have opinions, but they're not going to do the work.
Yeah.
Trust me. That is where my impatience stems from. To be honest, is because I know who will and who won't, right? And the who won't that is overly opinionated can be a nuisance. I used to have that in the cabinet early on, and then, you know what I mean?
Apologies there.
You're
Been a
good.
rough day.
Your ears paining out. Can you give me just a second? I just got to think about something just real quick.
Yeah, you're all right.
I need water.
What I miss? Anything there, Peters?
No, we're just kind of talking about this situation, and while I think my opinion of it was that well, I understand the concern. I mean, it's pretty much we've already discussed it, but we were kind of reiterating the fact that, well, we understand like the concern and looking for a solution in this situation. We have a ton of officers who don't necessarily understand standard protocol and how to operate within the SOPs. So by creating new legislation that then adds on to our SOPs and creates time, it potentially could have a negative effect on the PD.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree for sure. I just don't know what that happy medium is because I don't know if the answer is to remove them. Charge is an option. I like the new system because I feel like it has a bit more weight behind it. in different areas,
Alright,
like
I got
less
a
weight in
whole
areas
thing.
that shouldn't be as impactful, and more weight in other areas that should be impactful, where we want to actually deter. Then ultimately creating a bit of more work here for Los Santos. 10100.
Power
All right, should be good.
disturbance.
Hell's that?
Power disturbance. Isn't that normally a prison break? I don't know.
Oh, it's not Los Santos. That's over.
Oh,
at,
it's the vault.
No, that's up at the power state. The power
Yeah,
plant.
this is the power. Oh, they're shooting.
F-71's up. I mean, that's where the shots fired earlier. Either way, I'm gonna put together something. I guess I'll try to start getting together a list of things we want to talk about for Thursday as well.
Yeah.
My understanding was the way it was relayed to us was that we're essentially going to be, correct me if I'm wrong there, Peters. We're going to be attacking the search and seizure legislation.
Maybe that's what it is, and maybe we're gonna go into the specifics of it, which I'm down for. So I'm not opposed.
Fair enough. I know a lot of questions came up surrounding that. I told you we had the meeting the other day. The BCSO on LSPD had a meeting with the justices, and a lot of things stemmed off of that legislation.
Gotcha.
So
Understandable.
we'll go from there. Well, this was a good 2-hour meeting. Appreciate your time there, Nino.
Yeah, absolutely.
so we're gonna
I think this
pencil
was
in-
very productive, to be honest. I know we started with, sorry, 1 second. Hey, Tessa, let me call you right back. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right.
I think it was productive too. So
yeah,
I
I really
jot down some things.
Yeah, I really fuck with this idea, to be honest.
Yeah, I want to try to poke some holes in it. So just to prevent headaches down the line, right? But I think
absolutely.
Ultimately, it's probably going to be our best option in terms of actually getting people on the streets and still being able to have repercussions. I don't think we'd be seizing any more vehicles at that point, right?
Correct.
I think there's a lot of pros, a couple of cons, but a lot of pros. I think the pros are outweighing the cons here. So I'll talk to some people, get some opinions, poke some holes in it, and we will reconvene on Thursday right after the meeting.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Quantum, check that twat. All right. See if you can bring him down. See how much he's got. All right.
You got it. Done.
All right. Good shit. Bye.
Bye.
All right.
All right.
Fantastic.
Well, thank you very much, Nino. Appreciate it.
Anytime.
We'll look into those issues as well, and we'll let you know.
I'm gonna have a chat with some people in the city as well in regards to this.
All right. Sounds good.
Awesome.
I plan on doing the same a bit as well.
Good shit. All right. That was a really good that was really good.
Oh, did you, you opened that, right?
Yep.
All right.
I didn't. It wasn't me.
Holy
All
fuck,
right.
they're finally done.
Hello.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh.
Are you guys busy? Are you?
What's up? Me?
Hi. My name is Elios Law. I would like to talk to you about maybe getting Pedito for something. I wanted to know I need to talk to. Okay. Pride is in about 6 days.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that we are gonna try to do is a Pride parade that starts at Kortz Center, and the plan would be to get tow trucks that we would paint to the colors of the rainbow to transport people. I wanted to know if you have people in Pedito that would be interested in helping.
You said a tow truck to transport people.
No, I think
About 6 or 7 of them.
Wait, are you looking for people in PD Tow? Is that what you're looking for?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I want to.
Have you talked to
them.
PD Tow? Have you talked to anyone in PD Tow about it?
I don't know who I have to contact about that. I want
I think there's numbers. I don't see any problem with that, but
I just
ultimately it's up
want to make sure I
chief.
understand it right. Are you talking about having people in the back of a tow truck while it's moving?
Yes, I wanted to know if that would be something that
The
would
parade,
be possible.
the parade,
Yes.
sir.
Okay, so we're talking very low speeds.
Very low speeds, following traffic laws. Maybe some music. There is a set path already set up. We would start at the bottom of actually Kortz Drive. So on Norfolk Ford, we would go through the city up to the race.
Why not get one of those? Why not instead of PD tow trucks? Why not get the party bus with the platforms on them?
That's not gonna be. If we have actually a good turnout, that is not gonna be enough.
Well, you're talking about 6 or 7 people, or are we talking about 60 or 70 people?
That might go to the 60. I'm not sure what the turnout is gonna be.
Okay. Well, I mean, as long as we keep keep speeds down for good cause, and let's not overload it too much. Let's not put 10, 20 people on there, but under 10 will be fine. Yeah. Let me give you the contact for the tow supervisor's number, and you coordinate that with him, okay?
Please, thank you.
All right. Ready for it there?
Ooh. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I'm actually going to give you the head of tow here, and he could coordinate it with his supervisors. 420-822-0530, and that's going to be Henry Chaos, Sergeant Chaos at the LSPD. He's in charge of all tow, and he'll put you either in contact with one of his supervisors, or he'll coordinate it with you.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
What was your first and last name there?
Oh, Elios Long. You can find me in the lemon list.
Last name one more time. I apologize.
Lor. L'_OR.
I just realized something. Turner came in as a consultant, and then he became chief.
There you are. Okay. All right. He should take care of you. I'll let him know you'll be calling.
It's like those.
Thank you. Okay. Yep. I won't take too much more of your time.
Hey. All right.
That's
Hell yeah.
it for now.
All right.
Good deal. All right, Mr.
All right.
You take care then. All right.
Yep. Y'all stay safe.
Have a nice day.
Take care. Then,
Okay.
Oh, I want to show you something over here real quick. Helios.
Yes,
How's it going, gentlemen?
So I bought some of these. I got some from what's her name. I also got from
did Sally get you the one that I?
She got me 3, and